This week in games, Fortnite maker lays off 1,000 people, PS5 prices skyrocket, and the Xbox Game Showcase has been announced. This is the Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Penny Gamescast, episode 293. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hello. I hope you're having a great day, one of safety, and you're not getting bombed by the U.S. government.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Can we get past the, intro couple of minutes for even though we're not monetized, monetization purposes,
I didn't say anything about... everything I said was abiding by what YouTube's delicate little ears, or whatever they have, the equivalent, doesn't like to have said. Because they're probably in well, maybe they're owned by the Israeli government. Who knows? Who knows who owns YouTube? Who really owns YouTube? But, yeah, I hope you're not getting bombed wherever you are.
Well said.
It's getting bad.
I know.
It's getting really bad.
I know.
Yeah. Well, let's see if a nuke happens, because some people are like, world leaders are not coming out. No, because world leaders keep coming out and they're saying, hey, this is really, really bad. Multiple have done this, and it's very strange. One of them, I think, brought up nuclear capabilities, and he was like, but it was after apparently there was some meeting of some sort at the UN.
There's no way.
I hope. Well, Tevin, you know what we're dealing with here.
Not the most stable.
Yeah, it was literally messing the U.S. economy up more than any past president ever has. And it's all about ego with him, trying to open up the straits. So, something that was caused by him because he bombed people, children. Yeah, it's going to get worse. But at least we have video games in the meantime.
I want to say things that I can't say on a microphone.
Tevin, you would live in the United States. You have freedom of speech. Go ahead.
No. This is the Penny Gamescast, where each week we dive deep into the nerdy news you need to know in order to elevate the conversation around games. We each come to you with two topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can watch this show live every Monday afternoon at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where you can put your own 2 cents live in as we record. Or if you can't catch us live, watch the episode on youtube.com/@2pennygames or mainstream podcast services every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Of course, our goal here is to always elevate the conversation. So if you have your own 2 cents on a topic that we cover, don't cover, or just something about gaming culture you wish was better, drop those thoughts down in the comments below, and we will be back next week to reply to your own 2 pennies, much like... Excuse me. On the episode of the Penny Gamescast where we covered Saudi Arabia's investment into Capcom, Noam Dyer, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, said, since the damn Saudis now own 10% of Capcom, that's going to make me no longer buy any more games of Capcom new, as long as the Saudis own any percentage of Capcom. I'll just wait till future Capcom games become available to buy pre-owned. A government that deprives people's human rights doesn't deserve public support. Fuck the Saudi government. I wish all the money in the world were destroyed.
It's not going away.
My allergies are kicking my ass this week, ladies and gentlemen. So I apologize. There's going to be a lot of sniffles and sneezes and blowing my nose. Go.
That's a good way around the issue of not wanting to support Saudi Arabia, because at a certain point when you're getting pre-owned games, how much money is actually going to them?
None.
None at all. Now, there's another method you can use to where you don't have to wait that long. Both are valid. Point is, Saudi, unfortunately, we're probably going to see more of this happen. Maybe on Capcom's side of things, they'll buy more stocks, but other ones as well. I mean, they're already in the process of buying EA. Maybe that'll be what they want because it's such a big name brand in gaming, but they have lots of money. And as you said, and I wish all of it was gone because it prevents them from being able to profit off of the fact that they've instituted things like slavery and an oppressive society. And just all the things we've said in that video. Go watch it, because Saudi Arabia they're buying it up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And spiritually, I'm with you in spirit, for sure. Because fuck the Saudi Arabias, fuck the Saudi Arabia government and all of the atrocities that they're committing. When it comes to Capcom, I think there's enough layers of separation to where I don't see us boycotting Capcom games as helping the situation. I only see it as hurting Capcom.
it's not like SNK. Even SNK, you know, I feel bad for them, but it's kind of in that same vein where they own so much. It's kind of hard to justify buying a game from them. EA, certainly that's going to be the case in the future. But yeah, Capcom itself is 10% of the company. It's a big chunk. You're helping, you're giving them money, but it's so minuscule. And again, as you said, it kind of hurts them, the game developers, more than it helps.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's my thing. Is that even though the money is going to the Saudi Arabia, there is a percentage of the money going to Saudi Arabia. If we stop, it's not like Saudi Arabia is depending on Capcom to make them money, right? I mean, they are, but it's not like
Capcom's failing. How are we going to sustain ourselves?
Literally, Saudi Arabia can drop Capcom at any point, you know, and be fine, and not even it's a drop in the bucket for them, like barely worth mentioning. And so boycotting Capcom games would only hurt Capcom. So then it would lead to this continued death spiral that we have in the games industry right now of layoffs, studio closures, XYZ thing. So, like, I see your point, and I'm with you. Like, it's fucked up. I don't like it, but for this case, I'm personally not going to join you on that front. But you do with as you wish. That's your money. That's your way of you know, voting, expressing your feelings and opinions, right? So, more power to you. But on this case, I'm not going to follow you off that cliff. You know, respectfully.
You insulted him.
Did I?
By saying respectively? Respectfully? You're like...
How was that an insult?
I don't know. I'm trying to make it out to be like you were doing.
Yeah, you need to work on this negativity that you got going on, man. You got a lot of it going on.
I'm so negative.
You doing okay?
I go in my room and I'm like, Connor, I hate you. Connor, I hate you. It affects me and I bring it onto the show, so I apologize.
Connor, you doing okay?
No, the funny thing is...
Did you have a good night last night?
I did, yes.
Okay.
In fact, that's the thing where, you know, I think I mentioned on the podcast before, my brain capacity, or a lack thereof, allows me to, I think, enjoy my life to a much greater degree than most people. Because everyone's always like, Connor, my life's sad. They say it like it's an admission on themselves, rather than an admission of my life sucking, for now. Who knows what the future may hold.
You know what else you can suck? Moving on to topic number 1, your first penny of the day, Connor. And then this is going to be, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a story written by you that you can read yourself over at our Substack, TwoPennyGamesNews.substack.com. Link is in the description down below. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
I will do just that. Epic Games lays off over 1,000 employees. Fortnite producer Epic Games announced massive layoffs in an email to staff from CEO Tim Sweeney, resulting in over 1,000 job losses. Quote, "Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. Some of the challenges we're facing are industry-wide challenges, slower growth, weaker spending, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generations, and games competing for time against other increasingly engaging forms of entertainment. And some of our challenges are unique to Epic. Despite Fortnite remaining one of the most successful games in the world, we've had challenges delivering consistent Fortnite magic with every season. We're only in the early stages of returning to mobile and optimizing Fortnite for the world's billions of smartphones, and in being the industry's vanguard, we have taken a lot of bullets in a battle which is only in the early days of paying off for ourselves and all developers." End quote.
Way to pat yourself on the back. Holy shit.
Thank you, Tim Sweeney. I love you. Sweeney goes on to deny AI has any role in the layoffs, while also emphasizing Fortnite will continue to release content as it makes its shift from using Unreal Engine 5 to 6. That same day, a post from Fortnite's official X, formerly Twitter, account announces the removal of the 3 game modes, Rocket Racing, Ballistic, and Festival battle stage due to lack of player attraction and retention. Quote, "Market conditions," this is not from that quote, this is a continuation of the original quote, "Market conditions today are the most extreme we've seen since those early days, with massive upheaval in the industries accompanied by massive opportunity for the companies that come out as winners on the other side," continues Sweeney. "That's what we're aiming to do for our players, and we aim to bring other like-minded developers in the industry along on the journey to build an increasingly open and vibrant future of entertainment together. At Epic, we pride ourselves in only hiring the industry's best, so it is very painful to part with so many talented people. The folks impacted by the layoffs will receive a severance package that includes at least 4 months of base pay, with more based on tenure. We're also extending Epic paid healthcare coverage, end quote. Laid off workers took to social media to express their shock at the sudden news, with the prime example of the effects of the layoffs being Michael Prinke, a developer diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, whose life insurance plan through the company was subsequently canceled and will soon face complications gaining new coverage due to his pre-existing condition. Thankfully, it appears the post gained enough traction to where Sweeney responded to that the company will, quote, solve the insurance for them, end quote, while also pointing out that medical information played no part in the layoffs. Sweeney's justifications have been met with some pushback from multiple industry analysts like Adam Smart of mobile analytics firm AppsFlyer and Ampere analysis game analyst Piers Harding Rolls, who, speaking with IGN, point out broader business decisions that have now bled over into Fortnite. Quote, Epic's recent redundancies are understandably being linked by many to Fortnite, but that framing is likely too simplistic, said Smart. While Tim Sweeney has acknowledged a softening in Fortnite engagement since 2025, reflecting broader industry trends, that's only one part of a much bigger picture. Epic has spent the last several years investing heavily across multiple fronts, most notably in its prolonged legal battles with Apple and Google. Those cases were hugely consequential for the industry, particularly in opening up the conversation around direct-to-consumer payments, but they also came at an enormous financial cost. Beyond that, Epic has been building out a much broader ecosystem. The Epic Game Store has required sustained investment across PC, console, and mobile, with mobile in particular still not fully realized despite years of effort tied to those same legal challenges. At the same time, the company's explored additional initiatives, including potential B2B, business-to-business, direct-to-consumer payment solutions. Even where those haven't fully materialized, they represent significant upfront cost in terms of product, partnerships, and go-to-market efforts. When you layer all of that together, the redundancies start to look less like a reaction to a single product and more like the result of cumulative strategic investment meeting a tougher macroeconomic environment, end quote. As was the case for many other studios, expansion of the gaming industry thanks to lockdowns during the COVID pandemic would inevitably see a burst that resulted in crippling layoffs across the board, and is still affecting Epic to this day. Quote, since late 2017, Epic has largely relied on the success of Fortnite to expand its business and heavily invest in product development, says Rolls. While the foundation of potential future growth has been laid through its platform and storefront strategy, a drop in engagement for Fortnite in 2025 has meant an immediate need to cut costs once again following the layoffs in 2023. This brings its workforce down closer to its size in 2020 at the start of the pandemic, which I didn't include there. I believe the number was around 4,000 employees that are now, after the layoffs, at Epic. But point is, this is a big, big layoff, and it kind of came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming at all, not the consumers, clearly not the people at the studio itself, and the fact that it just came at in a note to staff must have been a pretty big gut punch to the employees working there, just to know they were all of a sudden out of a job, especially for Michael Prinke, who it was his wife on, I think it was LinkedIn, not beseeching anybody, but just talking about the issues that they've now faced due to the fact that they didn't have any more coverage, or at least they're not going to have any more coverage in the future when their current extension runs out. And, that plus the fact that we just have more job losses when we kind of thought we were past the brunt of this after all of those horrible layoffs in like 2023, 24, and so on and so forth. But, here it is, rearing its ugly head again. And, I saw a lot of people afterwards saying this is kind of meaning the death of Fortnite. Fortnite's going to go out of business. That was kind of too negative of a reaction, too negative news. Yeah, it's bad that a lot of people got laid off, but it's not that dire for Epic. And certainly they aren't going to stop their thing that brings them in, I would assume, the most money. I don't think they have any other product that generates as much capital as Fortnite does.
Well, yeah, I'm just not sure how successful the Epic Game Store is, and you mentioned it in this article from the quote of like, hey, it's struggling on mobile mostly due to its legal issues that we've had through the Google Play and the Apple Play stores. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Fortnite is a pillar in the gaming industry right now, whether you like to admit it or not. Whether you have, it's popular. It's popular to hate on the most popular thing, and Fortnite is currently the most popular thing. I think the thing about it is, and this is just really the truth behind all live service games as a whole, is that eventually the mass populace will just get tired of you. Yep. They're tired of going to the same app. They're tired of going to the same ecosystem. They're tired of seeing the same assets and the same character models and things like that. And I think Fortnite has done a hell of a job over the last nearly decade of keeping it fresh, keeping it new, and giving people reasons to hang out in their ecosystem past the actual video game of it, right? You know, you think back on recent years where they've done things like virtual concerts with Ariana Grande and Eminem and Travis Scott. They had business deals with Disney to where lead-ups to the Rise of Skywalker happened in Fortnite universe, you know? And you just get to a point where it's like, well, where else can you go as a video game or as a digital software, right? I think Fortnite has hit the ceiling. And now where they intended to keep going up and keep growing, because of course you do. You always want to go up and always want to keep growing and get bigger, right? This is the reaction from that. Or this is partly the reaction from that. Epic, as big as Epic Games is, has their hands in a lot of different pots. You know, they mentioned that they're going to start working towards Unreal Engine 6, and it feels like we just got 5, you know, especially because it felt like we were in Unreal Engine 4 forever, you know? So I think it's a multifaceted thing that we're dealing with here, where we're dealing with the ongoing legal battle with Apple and Google. We're dealing with Fortnite no longer having the engagement that it once did. We're still reeling as an industry from all of the events that COVID and the pandemic did to this industry. And
in a volatile environment anyway.
Exactly, right? And now we're also having to deal with an administration and that is wreaking havoc on the global economy in a way that we just haven't seen in recent times, probably reaching back at least 20 years, like in the last 20 to 50 years even. We haven't seen an administration be this negatively impactful, like intentionally, like just ruining everything for no reason, you know?
When the market crashed back in 2008, that was the most substantial moment, most comparable moment. But you can see beyond what's going to happen. It's going to balance itself out eventually. With this one, it's uncertain, and in a time of uncertainty, I wonder how Epic is really going to proceed, especially because now I wonder what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to do to Fortnite's player base. I mean, that's going to be the big hot new game. Almost everyone's going to play it. Is their problem just going to become even worse? I feel like it has to. I mean, I feel like a lot of the people that really are into Fortnite would also be the kind that are also really into Grand Theft Auto.
You're not wrong. The difference is just the age gap on it,
true.
The maturity rating on Grand Theft Auto. You know, there's so many more 12-year-olds than there are 20-year-olds. You know? And so, I think a lot of that is going to help because all the kids are on Fortnite, but all the kids are also on Roblox, you know, and
which is their biggest competitor right now.
Right. It's just a fact of the matter of, like, when you're old news, you're old news.
Yep.
You know, when Jay-Z's got a great line where he says, once you're tagged lame, the game follows. You know? I'm not saying Fortnite has been tagged lame. Of course not. But how much can you do nearly a decade in, you know, a decade next year? How much can you do to keep this alive, to keep this going? We've never seen this before. You know, it's an unprecedented run. It's really impressive what the people over at Fortnite have been doing due to a large amount of crunch and, you know, crazy endeavors like that. But
big events.
we're just at a point where it's like there's got to be a ceiling. There's an end to it. There's an end to all things, you know, and Fortnite will just not be the money generator machine forever. It can't be.
That is true. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep on trying to make it live as long as possible. They're going to try and keep it at the top of everyone's mind as much as possible. I wonder what they're going to really do to freshen it up after all these layoffs. But from what I've seen, it's kind of left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Unfortunately, as we've seen very often with these layoffs, as upset as you might be, time goes on.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of people just like, oh, I have my game still available to me, and I want to go play Fortnite. So
I mean, I don't know how much Fortnite can do. We've seen them experiment a lot with the little Rocket League mode and the Guitar Hero mode, and that you mentioned in the article here. I forget the actual, like, legitimate names behind those modes.
Festival Battle Stage.
Yeah, Festival Battle Stage and the other things, whatever the other things were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those things, like, were neat and cool, I guess, for like a one-time play or whatever. But they never retained player bases like the Battle Royale mode did, or any of the like special events that they would throw, or when they would have the Marvel season. I know was huge. The superhero seasons have been huge and so forth. So like just getting different cosmetics and stuff is cool and certainly helps retain all of that. And then when they did the it wasn't the chapter 2. Was that chapter 2 when they like heavily tweaked the gameplay?
I'm trying to remember because I remember it was at a time when I was like, well, what's Fortnite going to do next? And then they
like changed the game. There was
yeah.
like a grapple now and like or a mounting over topography and stuff. And so like it, and then Rainbow Siege has kind of followed suit and changed a lot of their formula as well. So like it's just a matter of you've basically got to update your game to be a new game within the game. Like and that like that level of deepness to it. It's just like and I think all of these live services know with every major update, sure, you gain retention, people come back, but I think there's also a percentage of players that never come back and go, nah, I'm good. Or like when they do jump in, they're like, I haven't played in 6 months. I don't know where anything is anymore, and things like that. So it's just a matter of time. What did you feel about them patting themselves on the back of their legendary lawsuit against Apple?
Yeah, it's just... I mean, I guess to get to the content of the message, there's too many things. I get they're trying to be a little bit more, I guess, personable with the writing of this, but it's kind of hard for you to act that way when you're firing 1,000 people. And very often what we talk about, or at least I bring this up every time, and Tavin agrees, is that, you made certain roles redundant. You shored up development costs. I can't remember what exactly his wording was. It was kind of near the top. Do you mind going back there? It was extending... No, that's not it. What the fuck were they doing? A little bit more up. It's like the first paragraph. Yeah, it was contracting, marketing, closing some open roles. How many people took a reduced amount of pay? Because, Tim Sweeney's making a lot of money, and all the other higher-ups in that company are making a lot of money. They didn't mention that part, probably for a good reason. And, you have to always wonder with these layoffs, was this really the only avenue? Or even if it was, you had to lay off some people, did it need to be 1,000? Or is just that the easiest way? Because again, you know how these things work. Regardless of how much of a stink this is going to cause, it's going to die down. The people who maybe have boycotted your game because of it will forget, and they'll go back to Fortnite. Are you really going to take a serious hit on these layoffs? No, you're really only going to benefit from them. And this is kind of what you see any single time we talk about that happening in the games industry. It's the chickens never come home to roost, unfortunately, and, this is no different.
Yeah, and then also, the advancement of AI into this industry and what it's doing there, like, it just feels like we're constantly trying to eliminate jobs and find new ways to cut the humanity out of it. Am I staticky?
Yeah, you're being staticky. And to your point, it's... What was your point again?
AI.
Yeah. I do believe him when he says AI wasn't a cause of these layoffs. I haven't heard any story of Epic Games really diving into AI, though, of course, in the same way I have to guess whether, all of those reductions they made in roles and contracting and whatnot was the only course of action you could have taken. You probably are being a little bit misdirecting. You're misdirecting when you say that it's, that's all you had to do to, I put it badly, he could take a pay cut. You don't need to make over the millions of dollars that you're probably making, Tim Sweeney. And if that's what you're not being truthful about, when you say none of this had to do with AI, and everyone's talking about how all developers use AI. I remember the Warhorse CEO was putting his foot in his mouth and saying that, and someone else that I can't remember. This is the future for these people because it's a way to make these roles redundant, but in a way where you don't have to have these stories of layoffs whenever it becomes inconvenient to have people that you need to pay. So... yeah, we'll see what the next set of layoffs are. I got no clue. But I think, at least it's better than Roblox. At least there's not a lot of like sexual abuse going on over there because, that being the main competitor, it could always be worse because I've heard some pretty sick stories of people going on Roblox and, basically just thriving on not really putting up roadblocks to preventing, grown men from interacting with children because it reduces the amount of people that play their game. So, for as bad as this is, at least they're, as far as we know, not kind of incentivizing people to be pedophiles on their video game. So,
yeah.
grasp at straws.
And I'm
but-
also just curious as to how Epic Games as a publishing arm is working and how they're delivering on games, because I googled it real quick while you were reading, and certainly they are still publishing games. Fall Guys, they've been working heavily with Remedy Games, so Alan Wake Remaster, Alan Wake 2, etc., and a couple of other titles. But it's not like they're publishing a game every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like they're like really working to like have a robust slate of games. So that in combination with how well is the Epic Games Store really working? Steam eats up a lot of room, or eats up a lot of oxygen in the room, you know? So I'm very, very curious as to like where all the financials really, really come down to here. You make great points about like, hey, Tim Sweeney, you could probably take a pay cut and we could do this, that, and the third. And I agree with you, but I am inclined to believe them when they say, hey, we're doing what we can here. I don't know why. I think it's just kind of like the way it's all been framed, maybe. But like, we're in a really tough time, like economically, especially in this industry, especially with where we are with politics, where we are with AI, and it's all just kind of come to a head to where everybody is suffering. And yeah, even the big guys on the block, even if they're doing what they're supposed to do, you know, it's just led to a mess. And 1,000 is a lot of people. You know, that's a lot. And so, like, it really hurts to see this, and it really sucks. But I am inclined to believe that this is a sign of the times, and not Epic doing all the things that we hate all of these major companies to be doing. And I could be wrong on that.
Because, of course, there was the Epic Games case, the court case, which, I mean, you got to question how much money did that set them back? You know,
it's not cheap to go to war with Apple.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. You know, so we'll and then of course that's still going on, even though they've made a lot of ground, and so you know we're constantly dumping all this money in and only getting so much out of it. And Epic is also a game developer, is also a game publisher, is fighting these legal battles, is their own storefront, and creates their own technology with Unreal Engine. So like they've got a lot of pots cooking all at once. So it's unfortunate that we're just at a period in time where it's hurting more than it's helping.
Mm-hmm.
Connor, we're going to move on to topic number 2 for the day. Sort of on theme with what we've said already. The PlayStation 5 is getting a price hike. Yay. Again.
Yeah. On my birthday, no less.
Yeah, right.
Happy birthday.
On your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When
Got
the
you.
price goes into effect, yeah.
So we are pulling directly from the PlayStation blog. Posted March 27th, 2026. New price changes for PS5, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal Remote Player. From Isabel Tomatis, Vice President, Global Marketing, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Prices effective starting April 2nd, 2026. With continued pressures in the global economic landscape, we've made the decision to increase the prices of the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal Remote Player globally. We know that price changes impact our community, and after careful evaluation, we found this was a necessary step to ensure we can continue delivering innovative, high-quality gaming experiences to players worldwide. The updated recommended retail prices for PS5 consoles are effective starting April 2nd, 2026, as follows. For all other territories, please check with your local retailer and direct.playstation.com where it is available. I'm just going to read off the U.S. I'll just read. PS5 is going up to $649.99. The PS5 Digital Edition is $599.99, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is going up to $899.99. $900 for the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's a $150 increase.
Yeah,
tough. UK $569.99 pound. No, not pounds. What is this?
Euros?
No
pounds, yeah. UK.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. $519.99 for the digital edition and $789.99 for the PS5 Pro. And then it's also worth noting that the PlayStation Portal is going up to $250. Tough.
That's big. That's a big
tough.
Price increase.
That, you know, it's a lot to ask for, and I don't blame anyone who says nope, it's too much. Especially that PlayStation 5 Pro, $900 for a PlayStation 5 Pro. bro.
You're better off using your money for something else. I don't know what that is,
Anything
but
else,
yeah,
bro,
don't
like,
bother.
it's just not worth it. Especially, we're getting word that like gas prices in New York are higher than the national mandated minimum wage. So it's just like, hey man, everything's going up. This is the cost of an out of control egotistical president going to war with a very important country that delivers a lot of natural resources, and the rise of AI and all of these other companies competing to create or to creating to. I'm sorry, my allergies are kicking my ass right now. All of these companies scavenging for parts for GPU and all of that.
All that goddamn RAM, it's all taken
All
up.
that RAM, all that memory, it's gone.
But don't worry, Tavin.
Yeah.
Now AI data centers can run at peak efficiency. It's what we need.
Yay. I mean, I think this pretty much is the direct result and proves that, hey, all you AI bros out there have been on the wrong side of history the entire time.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought, right? Like, AI is really kicking the crap out of these tech companies right now. And we saw this coming. We knew this was happening. Xbox has raised their prices multiple times over the last year or two. Switch 2 came out at a very high price.
Mm-hmm.
All the Switch 1 products all got a rise, which is unheard of old generation stuff getting a price hike like this. And we just knew it was only a matter of time before Sony and PlayStation did the same thing. Because kind of feels like they kind of have to, because all of the outward contributors are all working against video games at the same time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. I truly believe that if we keep going down this road, Donald Trump and AI will kill video games. I don't see how y'all could see it any other way. Because it's just so bad. All of the wrong choices are being made. And yes, we're still dealing with insane corporate greed. And yes, we're still dealing with the cost of development always rising. And yes, we're still dealing with, I would say, is an equal problem of player expectations. I don't want to say player expectations. Consumer as a whole expectations being so high, and expecting unrealistic expectations of the fidelity of their games and the size of their games. Every game needs to be 60 hours plus long and needs to look beautiful and have incredible, stupid, realistic detail and use all these things. No. We need to all tone it back. The consumers, the developers, the executives, and the fucking president. All of it needs to come back, or else we're in a real bad place. And guess what? We're in a real bad place. That's how you get stories of Epic has to lay off 1,000 people. It's how you get stories of $150 increase for 3+ year old technology.
Yeah. So some people might be one.
No, 2.
2?
2+? How old is the PS5 Pro?
No, 2.
2? Okay.
2024?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So 2-year-old technology getting a $150 increase and is $900 on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Look around, man. Everything sucks, and we're in talks of this Project Helix. That shit's gonna be $1,000. We're in talks of the what is the Steam Machine? The Steam Machine. That's gonna be $1,000.
Yep.
Easily.
Bad time for that thing to come out.
It's a bad time for all of it right now. There's not a good time for any facet, any angle you want to take. It's all trash and shit.
Some people might question why is this whole conflict with Iran causing prices to raise everywhere? And the simple matter is because oil is so much more harder to get now and transport. That affects every single aspect of production, of shipping, of basically every single facet of the economy is tied to oil in some way, shape, or form, which is why it was important that we kind of get off the reliance on a non-renewable energy resource that is locked to certain parts of the world. But apparently that's not the correct move, which clearly it is the correct move, as we're now seeing.
Libtard, you liberal piece of shit.
What can I say? You know what? I'll bear that, Mark. If the people who are going to react to the way the world is right now with, actually, it wouldn't have been beneficial at all to go in. Because I remember seeing one comment from some random guy. He got dog walked. But he was saying, this is all because of you goddamn green energy losers. And I don't get what he was saying even now. How did that factor into it at all?
What green energy?
Yeah, I know. It's not really Germany literally got rid of their last nuclear reactor recently, and they were diving all into oil, and now look at them now. They're just dead in the water, and they deserve it. But unfortunately, well, at least the German government deserves it. The people not so much. spreading it, Devin. You're spreading it. But
Doing okay?
I had a spittle in my throat.
Yeah. Okay.
Point is, we're all fucked.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, it's real bad. This isn't the only PlayStation news. I also want to jump to an IGN article by Rebecca Valentine. PlayStation reportedly shuts down another first-party studio. PlayStation has reportedly shut down Dark Outlaw Games, a studio hired by the console maker to make an unknown first-party title, as well as laid off a number of other individuals involved in the mobile development. This comes from Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, who posted the news on Blue Sky. Dark Outlaws Games was founded by Jason Blundell at Sony's behest and was only quietly announced by Blundell on a podcast in March of last year after having been rumored the year before. At the time, they now the nose. At the
Hey, you getting nose fucked.
Listen, we're struggling through it, ladies and gentlemen, but we're gonna get through it through hell or high water. All right, one day we'll be able to take sick days. Mm-hmm. At the time, he said they had only been working away in the shadows for a while and noted that it was on a first-party project for Sony, but the studio never officially announced what its project was. Continuing that story. We got to bring it back. We got to pull everything back. Everything has to be cheaper. All of these extra things that we were doing, shut them down, close them off, and we got to move on. We have to focus on the things that make us money, you know? I saw somebody break down stats of like, hey, if it's a $70 game, after your publisher takes their cut for selling it, it's like you're only making like $49 a copy. So like, based off of average development costs right now in the industry, you would basically need, for a full AAA game, you would need to sell over 6 million copies to start to break even, not including marketing.
Sounds like the solution has always just been to increase the prices of video games, Tavin. Simple result.
I mean, we gotta do something to the numbers here. I don't think price increases are the way to go, especially in the current economic state that we're in right now. If this was 10 years ago, then maybe we could have that conversation, which we probably should have had a price increase 10 years ago. But I know you don't like it, but we were at 60 for a long time.
We were, and increasing it didn't do anything for the industry. Positive. Kind of made more money.
I think that's hard to tell in the state that we're in because it happened during COVID. Mm-hmm. So like it's hard to be like, oh, it didn't do anything. I think it probably did something. It just didn't do enough because this industry, this medium, being a tech-based medium in the times that we're in, hurt. Now, I'm not disagreeing in the sense of like, well, where's that money really going? And it seems like it's going to these corporate executives who are making, you know, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars every year. Yeah, I agree. That's not right. We shouldn't have that. But if Spider-Man 2 wasn't $70, would Insomniac still be around? Mm-hmm. That's the question I ask. But not to bootlick. I'm just saying, you know, we could be living in. Let's give credence to the conversation. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there is a right answer right now. Like, I think everything around the world is so fucking shit, and it feels like it's so pointed towards games right now that, like, I just don't see how this industry can survive if the world keeps going in the direction that it's going. But I think the world is pretty fucking sick and fed up of it too. Mm-hmm. So the French had a great way of dealing with this back in the day.
When you started the podcast earlier, I know you're now a bit more open.
Right, but you know, we're like 40 minutes in now. You see how I do? You don't do things in the first 10 minutes, Connor. You wait till you're deeper in the show.
It sounds to me like you're a coward.
No, I want to make money off of this product that we create,
Connor. You would stifle your own voice because you're a coward.
I'm not stifling my own voice.
You're a common whore. See, and I can say this: 45 minutes in, it's nice. It is nice.
You would have said it 5 minutes in, and then the video would have gotten demonetized. You fucking piece of shit.
No, you throw the coach words out.
Anyways, Connor, PlayStation's in a bad place. Do you see any return from this anytime soon?
Fuck no. Of course they're not. Like, no one, I cannot conceive of anybody who hasn't bought it yet looking at that and saying, you know what I'm going to buy? A PlayStation 5.
What do you buy?
Yeah.
Like,
Switch.
what do you? Because what is that right now? $600?
More. Yeah, it's more too.
The Switch 2? Is that $600? No, it's $500.
Oh, you could go to, instead, PCs because...
what was the Switch 2?
The RAM's now over there.
No, yeah, Connor, there's no way in.
I know that's the difficult thing right now. Where
The
at least
PCs are expensive, the PlayStations are expensive, the Xboxes are expensive.
the way to get in is to already be in, which we are. So we're fine. Why are we even talking about this?
Was it $450 and then $500 for the Mario Kart bundle? Was that what it was?
Yes. Yes.
That sounds right.
Yes.
Yeah. So like everything's fucking expensive. Yeah. It's just all expensive.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. There's no good way to get into gaming right now, and that's going to stifle this industry even more and make it even harder to bounce back from this low that we're in. Things are just going to continue getting worse for a long, long time. We had said, hey, maybe we're past the hill. Maybe we're past the hill. And I think the industry kept asking that question as well. But then all this other shit got dumped into our laps, and we have to deal with it, you know? And so, yeah, I think it's going to get a lot worse. I think we're going to lose a lot of our favorite studios. Nobody is safe. Absolutely nobody. Your Naughty Dogs, your Halo Studios, Larian, fully independent studios. None of them are safe.
Yeah. You can't avoid it. We're in the blender right now.
It's going to get so much worse, and then hopefully 5 years from now, we have a new golden age. Hopefully.
Hope is a fickle thing.
Indeed, Connor. And we're going to continue talking about some hopeful things here with our next topic, which is our third topic of the day. Your second penny. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Are you sure? Oh boy, are you sure I get the second penny?
Yeah, because you're not going to have anything fun to say on the fourth, you know?
No, it won't. Let me get that. Yeah. By the way, I had something good, and then you ruined it by saying something like you should on a podcast. I'll go on. IGN's Tom Phillips writes, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Switch 2 Remake reportedly coming this Christmas. New Star Fox this summer.
Yeah,
see
we'll
that Mario news, huh? The Mario Galaxy, huh? Star Fox is in that Mario Galaxy?
He is in that Mario Galaxy. He is.
Impressive, right? A new Star Fox game and a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake are among numerous unannounced Nintendo games reportedly headed to Switch 2 this year. That's according to a noted internet tipster, Nate the Hate. Good old Nate the Hate. Who accurately leaked to the Switch 2's reveal date last year, alongside other details of the console, all whose information today has been backed up by VGC sources. Perhaps surprisingly, 2026 will purportedly not be the year we see a major new 3D Mario game, though Nintendo's long-awaited follow-up to Super Mario Odyssey will apparently be ready for 2027. Speaking via his podcast, Nick the Hate said that Nintendo's new Star Fox game would be announced in April and had been intended as a surprise reveal following the character's just confirmed appearance in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, where incredibly he will be voiced by Glenn Powell. Okay, sure. Is that incredibly? Is that incredible? I don't know if it is, but the game will apparently launch later in 2026 and include online multiplayer. It's been a quiet period of late for the Star Fox fans, with no news games since 2016's Wii U exclusive Star Fox Zero, developed by Nintendo and Platinum Games. It arrived to mixed reviews and remains one of the few titles from the Wii U era never to get a Switch port.
To say Star Fox Zero got mixed reviews is incredibly generous. That is an incredibly generous thing to say about Star Fox Zero.
It was shat on by a lot.
It was real bad.
Yeah. 2017, meanwhile, saw the public release of retro SNES game Star Fox 2, which was completed but never released until the arrival of the SNES Classic Edition micro console. It's claimed that Nintendo isn't planning to hold a general Nintendo Direct broadcast now for another 3 months. When it is expected to broadcast,
you can not do that.
I could. Yes.
You could just not do that.
It was an active choice, Tavin. Yes, the neurons in my brain fired, and I decided to make a choice.
I can't wait to be the selfish CEO of TwoPennyGames and
be great, right?
Fucking lay you off for no reason.
And then you'll be in the group with Tim Sweeney. You can go have sex with him or whatever they do in those parties.
Why are you throwing all this negativity on Tim Sweeney? Is he bad? I don't know.
Not particularly.
Okay,
any more than an executive is. Yeah, Splatoon. It's claimed that Nintendo isn't planning to hold a general Nintendo. You already said that. When it is expected to be broadcast its usual reveal fest held each June. That said, this summer is then expected to feature a flurry of previously unannounced Switch 2 games finally make their debut. Splatoon, adventure spin-off Splatoon Raiders, Rhythm Heaven, Groove, and Fire Emblem Fortune Weave. A new Switch sports game was also mentioned, though its release sounds less certain. Finally, other Switch 2 edition re-releases are also expected for the excellent Pikmin 4, as well as Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2 is not excellent, I guess. That's.
I mean, I would have put excellent on both of them. Maybe who wrote this? Tom Phillips. Maybe Tom Phillips just didn't play Xenoblade 2.
Maybe he did.
You know, these RPGs take a long time.
I bet if you click on that Pikmin thing, it's going to be his review, isn't it?
Probably,
Yeah.
or like just their link to it or whatever. You know, IGN's usually pretty good about it.
They are, but they didn't do Xenoblade though. So he's just wait, is there more? Oh, that's whatever.
It went to VGC.
VGC, huh? Okay, sure. Hey, you know what? Okay, good for helping your competition. We're all in this together. Jeez, that was a bad one.
I'm struggling, guys.
Well,
All right, Connor.
Yeah, remake of
New Star Fox, remake of Ocarina of Time. Which one do you want to go for first?
I'm gonna be clapping so hard when the remake comes out, and we play it, and then people say we never played the original. So I don't want to. I want to avoid that criticism. So Star Fox. Also, well, multiplayer doesn't matter to me because it's on Switch, and I don't pay for that. But I'm curious to how the people who love Ocarina of Time.
Which one are we starting with?
What?
Which one are we starting with?
I'm going Ocarina of Time now.
Oh, okay.
Personally, Star Fox, but Ocarina of Time I think is the bigger story.
I'm not asking for your interest. I wanted to. What do we talk about first?
Oh, well. I guess Zelda because it's bigger.
Okay, Zelda. Let's talk Zelda. All right.
Because you and me never played the original game, at least not
No.
in the I touched it, which is not saying anything.
I've not played it.
You not played it at all.
No.
Yeah. So I don't. I think you're going to see a lot of the conversations that have been going around a lot nowadays, where Resident Evil Requiem and all the other Resident Evil remakes have been bringing up conversations of their past games and replacing them in people's minds, which I do get, because a lot of general gamers aren't going to bother to go back to Ocarina of Time, just like how they're not going to bother to go back to the original Resident Evil 2 before playing the new and improved remake version of it. And so I get people getting upset at that, especially with such an iconic game like Ocarina of Time. But where can you play currently Ocarina of Time? Isn't there some kind of Switch version of the
I'm
game?
sure it's on the N64.
Oh, definitely.
Nintendo Switch Online, NSO join. I'm sure it's in there.
But I see that as kind of like a roundabout way for most people to be able to play that game, because isn't it a subscription service that you have to pay
it's
into?
a subscription service. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I guess you have to see if people would be justified in spending that for the other reasons you would get that.
My understanding is people pay for it.
People that pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I never knew their sales numbers on those things.
Not for like Ocarina or anything, but like just for all of the benefit. I mean, the NSO is a pretty good package.
Yeah.
Like it started very bare
sure.
bones and has developed into something that is of quality and I think of monetary value. you
Yeah,
know?
every direct you saw something get it added.
Yeah,
So,
they've just continued to keep doing that on and on and on, and now with the GameCube stuff, with Switch 2 and so forth. So yeah, I think my understanding is that Ocarina of Time is perfectly accessible to most people right now, and with the benefits of like save states and pausing the game in different ways, and all of the like bells and whistles that the NSO provides. To your point, I mean, that is something I tackled in my Penny Job video essay on remakes, of how I want more remakes, because remakes don't. I understand. Yes, the general gamer's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna play the remake, whatever. Us as enthusiasts don't need to care about their opinion.
Yeah, we will play both of them.
And go play both.
Nothing's gonna stop us.
And also, if the remake is the way in to becoming a fan, cool.
Mhm.
You're likely, if you really are going to be a hyper fan and like really love it, you're probably going to end up playing those games anyway. I've not played the original Resident Evil 2, but I will at some point. I know I will. It's just a matter of time, and because we do this, I haven't already.
Mhm.
I've had to fight the urge to go play it the last couple of weeks. As of right now,
I'd actually been interested in playing that game recently because I've seen tons of gameplay hit my feed, and just looks very high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that to say, yeah, and I think people who discount the quality or the artistry or like the content of a remake, like
A lot of what I see from people that do that, they're ones who are in love with the original so much that they hate the idea of something replacing that in the zeitgeist of how it's all talked about, and it's kind of their own personal emotions coming into play, rather than just being able to simply realize that the game is still the game. It still has the cultural relevance it once did. It still has the accessibility and the enough eyes on it. Like I feel like, especially with like Ocarina of Time, most people today, because Resident Evil 2 has the tank controls, and there's a lot of people who would get filtered through that. Ocarina of Time, I don't think has that problem. I think specifically in this case,
I think it does.
You really think?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's
They're
the
not like
first
us,
time
are they?
Z targeting was ever a thing.
What? Oh, yeah.
There's just no way that they nailed it. And then I'm sure, like, we're still on the N64. That controller's built a very specific way. All of the games were built for that controller.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't. not knowing anything, I'm sure it holds up better than, say, like a Mario 64. But I don't believe Ocarina of Time holds up enough to where the modern gamer, I'm talking a kid who's, 15 to 18 trying to learn about video games. Like, I just don't believe that they will be able to go back and be like, no, it holds up great. Like, no, you will have to meet that game where it is.
Yeah. Easier said than done for some.
I also push back on anybody who critiques remakes as like artistically devoid. There's so much art and so much effort and so much work that goes into remakes, just as much, if not full-blown games, that like I'm excited for this. I'm probably going to play it when it comes out. It will likely be my first experience with Ocarina of Time, just because I probably won't have or make the time for the original before it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a me thing. It just is what it is. I do urge people to always go back and play the originals, especially if they are fans of the remakes. But I don't think you need to play the original before you play the remake. Like, I don't think you don't need to prove yourself as a fan to enjoy a remake. Like, enjoy it. If it's your way in, it's your way in. The game that made me a Resident Evil fanatic was the Resident Evil 2 remake. And since then, I've gone back and played a whole bunch. I'm going to continue to go back and play a whole bunch, to the point to where I am now such a fan of Resident Evil where I will play the Code Veronica original game before I play the Code Veronica remake or whatever the next remake is. I'm going to go back and play the original version of that before the remake. But I'm at a more advanced state in my journey with Resident Evil than I am with Legend of Zelda as a whole, right? Like, I've played 3 Legend of Zelda games and dabbled with a couple of others. I'm not a Zelda fan, And so if Ocarina of Time Remake is the way in for me to become a Zelda fan, then that's what it is. Now, granted, I'm going to play every mainline Zelda game that comes out because it's Zelda and I do this, So I need to have an opinion on it. But I'm super excited about it.
I'm curious to see how it's going to look, because you can play around with art style. I think you still kind of want to keep that, I don't want to say kiddie look to it. No, like more, I don't really know how to describe the original
look to it. There's got to be an animated look to it. I don't think it's going to look like Breath of the Wild.
No, it better not.
But I also don't think it's going to look like the Link's Awakening remake, or not in camera, but just like in art style. I don't think we're going to get that like that chibi looking thing. I don't think that's going to be that either. If I were to guess, it's going to be in between a Wind Waker and a Twilight Princess. But obviously just look way better because we're 20 plus years ahead. Not 20. We're 15 years separated from those. So I think it's probably going to land somewhere in there. I would be shocked if it looks like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Shocked. Like, wow, really? Okay, sure, I guess. I mean, like, it wouldn't be like the most, like, it wouldn't be offensive by any means, but I just feel like, I mean, especially because Zelda is a franchise that has changed art styles so much and so often.
You do so much with it.
Yeah. I just think there's that. And there's just so much you can do with polygons on the N64 that, like, yeah, I'm very interested to see what it's going to look like. Do you believe it's coming this year?
Yeah, I think so. Especially if we're getting multiple sources saying the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Mario games confirmed to not really be coming out this year. You kind of need that big drop, and if it's not Mario, Zelda's pretty
Fire
good.
Emblem's not going to get it done, and Star Fox for sure is not going to get it done.
Yeah, which, speaking of that, Star Fox, we had Metroid come out, and it wasn't the return to form, I think, the same way some fans wanted. So I'm curious if Star Fox is going to be able to successfully do that. It makes sense with the multiplayer angle. Again, Nintendo's kind of really tried to amp up its multiplayer titles. Duskbloods should be coming out this year.
These games have had multiplayer in the past.
Yeah, but
not in like how we know multiplayer today. Like,
no.
I'm talking like 4 split screen type thing, shoot each other down type shit.
Yeah, of course. It just nowadays their business model is clearly trying to lean more heavily into the multiplayer space, the modern multiplayer space. So it's a matter of how does the game feel? Because similar to Ocarina of Time in terms of how it looks, I'm curious how a new Star Fox is going to play. Are they really going to change up the system where it's more like the classic on rails, but has a lot of different bells and whistles? Or are they going to have a little bit more free flow form to it, or maybe a bit of a more open world space?
I'm very curious. I just don't know what Star Fox fans want from Star Fox, because if you want it to be like your classic Star Fox 64 or any of the other titles, like that's just not going to sell in 2026. It's just not. Like you got to do something new to it. You got to change it up. And I think, being at such a low that they're in right now after Star Fox Zero, I think now's the perfect time to be like, all right, let's really rethink this formula and try and figure out a new way to present Star Fox to the people in a way that will get them excited, get them enticed, and still be able to satisfy fans.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I'm hopeful that Nintendo is a bunch of geniuses over there, Like their hit percentage is crazy. And so I'm very, very interested to see what this is going to be. I think if it's just a traditional Star Fox, I think Star Fox fans will love that, but I don't think it's not going to move units.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a flagship title. Maybe it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I guess it depends what Nintendo's plans are with it. Because, I mean, would they want it to be like the new generation of Star Fox and they really want it to hit off? Or do they just want to make a nice game and make some money? Nintendo kind of runs that gamut of kind of going in either way, of just making like a little smaller game towards big blockbuster.
Yeah, it's sort of that element of Nintendo where like you really cannot predict what they're going to do next, because I think it's a benefit of how secretive they are, and how close to the vest they keep everything, because you truly don't know what to expect next. And when things come out and don't set the world on fire, you don't see Nintendo reacting poorly to that, So it feels like they've got their expectations set properly. It feels like they are continuing to harbor the storm well. At least that's what it seems like from the outside. The only thing that even tells me that, hey, they're still feeling it like everybody else is feeling it, is they're jumping hardware prices.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only point where I'm like, oh, no, you guys feel it too. Like, because you have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see mass layoffs. We don't see mass studio closures, at least not ones that make crazy headlines or anything like that. Now, there is sort of a, homogenization of all of their studios under the brand Nintendo. So maybe they are quietly, laying off people in small amounts to where, like, it doesn't make headlines. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to tell. Again, they're just so secretive with it, and you never know what the next project is until it comes out. I didn't think we were getting another 3D Mario anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we're even getting, rumors of it happening next year, I'm like, oh, okay. So then what was Donkey Kong Bonanza? Like, what was that in your mind of what Bonanza was? And did it succeed? Did it surpass expectations? Because I think everybody kind of saw Bonanza as, oh, this is our 3D Mario for the next X number of years, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that there's even rumors of, hey, Odyssey is getting a follow-up in some way. What? Oh, shit. What does that mean?
Nintendo, as you said, who knows with the Nintendo?
Yeah.
Do what they want.
For real. Like, and I've never felt that, like, even the games that, like, don't set the world on fire, like an Echoes of Wisdom or anything like that. Like, I've never felt like Echoes of Wisdom set Nintendo back. We may not get another one in that style ever again, but it doesn't feel like they're like, oh, shit, we were betting our year on Echoes of Wisdom and it didn't deliver. Like, and I'm not even saying Echoes did badly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it didn't light the world on fire. It seemed like a neat little, oh, this is neat.
Mm-hmm.
I played it. It's quality. So yeah, every time Nintendo steps out with something new, I'm always very, very interested in it. And even when it's like, like they don't really believe in this, like a Princess Peach Showtime, it's pretty obvious they don't believe in it, and you don't need to reach for it as a consumer, outside of like, I'm getting this for my 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Or younger. You know what I mean? So, like, nobody missed out on skipping Princess Peach Showtime, is my point.
Nobody did?
Nobody. No. I think Phil missed out because he did play it.
yeah, I know. He did not have the most positive review for that, or take on that.
No, it wasn't great. But it wasn't a great game, so who cares? But it also didn't need to be, is my point. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. Star Fox this summer. Feels right, I guess. When are we getting Fire Emblem?
Near the... Oh, no?
I think that game might be sooner than we think.
I think because the first Three Houses was in July, I want to say. And I remember they kind of... I feel like they already said something with Three Houses by now, though.
I legit would not be surprised if we get Fire Emblem in April.
April?
Yeah.
Jesus, okay. That's a guess.
Yes.
I would think
April starting tomorrow? No, Wednesday.
The 2A, yeah.
April starts Wednesday. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we get that. What was the word on a direct anytime soon? I always forget. I never know their direct calendar as well as I should. It's claimed that Nintendo isn't planning hold. I imagine that's a typo. Isn't planning to hold a general Nintendo Direct broadcast now for another 3 months. Okay, well then never mind.
Well, Tavin, you're horrible at this.
I mean, what?
See, I was going to say August, but now that I know that, I'm going to still say August.
Yeah, that's very curious to me because if I'm looking at the slate and what I know Nintendo to come out in the next year, I forgot about that Splatoon game. I mean, if one's going to slip, maybe it's that because we know so little about that. But again, like, I mean, Kirby Air Riders came out and we were like, where is this game? And then when it was time, you know?
Yeah.
That's another beauty of Nintendo. They wait until it's time.
They don't move for nobody.
Which is why you get the benefit of rumors of something as massive as an Ocarina of Time remake happening within the calendar year that it is rumored to be released, you know, is because they shut up and they keep it secret and they can move however they want to move. Unlike some other people in the world here, Connor,
who are you talking about?
Who call their shots months in advance. The Xbox Game Showcase 2026, followed by Gears of War E-Day Direct, airs June 7th, and Xbox Fan Fest returns. This is from the Xbox Wire by Joe Scrubbles, editor-in-chief. This is going to be my final topic of the day. And ladies and gentlemen, what you need to know is there's an Xbox Game Showcase for 2026. Surprise! We didn't see that one coming. Sunday, June 7th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It will be followed immediately by a deep dive into the return of one of Xbox's most legendary franchises in the form of Gears of War E-Day Direct. Very excited. I like this form. Xbox does a great job of formatting their shows and putting content in them that is worth watching and spending time reacting to, for sure. Their showcase last year was a banger.
Yeah. But can they recreate that is the question.
I think so. I mean, they've currently got the lineup of games for it. When we're looking at Forza, Fable, Halo, Gears. Obviously saving Gears for the last part, but I'm sure there's still going to be a trailer in there, some kind of story trailer before their gameplay deep dive 20, 30-minute thing at the end, like they did with Outer Worlds, like they did with Call of Duty the years prior. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this. I'm very excited to see probably a return of Clockwork Revolution, which got a meaty demo last year, if my memory serves me correctly, at the Xbox Showcase. I'm very excited to see that one again. I'm excited to see updates to games that we already know about. I'm excited to see dates drop for the games that we don't know. I'm sure we're going to get another one of, what is the Beast of Reincarnation? I'm sure we're going to get another. Oh, wait, no, it'll be out by then, right? By June? When does Beast of Reincarnation come out?
No, I think it comes out in April, doesn't it?
You might be right. Beast is soon. Maybe in May. But, like, we don't have dates for Forza, we don't have dates for Halo, we don't have dates. We don't even have a date for Fable, right?
No, it's gonna be August 4th, a little bit later.
For who?
For Beast of Reincarnation.
Okay, so yeah, we could totally see a trailer. We will. I'll bet money on it. We're gonna see a Beast of Reincarnation trailer here.
See, I'm not one who's always bought into this, but people always bring it up. You brought it up multiple times. Halo.
I think definitely.
Definitely.
I don't think there's a chance Halo Campaign Evolved is not here. You know, show off a new level, show off some cutscenes, for sure. Let us know sort of what the quality of the package is that we're getting. Because remember, like, I mean, sure, they dropped a trailer, but, like, it hasn't been a part of a showcase yet. Halo. Yeah. You know, it was just a press release. Everybody had impressions. Everybody played it, like, type thing. So, yeah, I think Halo for sure is this year. I don't think I think the assumption is because it's Halo and because it's a remake of the first game that we, the public, are assuming that they're betting big bucks on it, and they're not betting small bucks on it. But I don't think they're betting as heavily on Halo campaign as we maybe think they are. But I'm sure it will sell bonanzas, especially coming to PlayStation. Like, I think it's just a money generator. I don't think it was a low effort, high reward thing for Halo Campaign Evolved.
If it's showing up, I think the proper thing to do, or the best thing to do, who knows if they'll actually do it, is shadow drop of, here it is, play after the showcase.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because it's Halo. It's one of the ones that can kind of get by just like Oblivion did, because Oblivion was one of their biggest selling games, and it dropped out of nowhere. And it seems like that might be a thing they want to do because they did that with Hi-Fi Rush beforehand. And so it's like, maybe this is their new model. And Halo, hey, it's got the name recognition.
Maybe.
But again, they can...
The way the streets are talking about Campaign Evolved tells me that it's still cooking.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's likely. I was gonna say we would have heard something, but they announced the showcase 2 months in advance, so we've still got a while before we have to worry about that. So yeah, I think it would just be what is the temperature on Halo the week leading up to the showcase. Is what are the streets saying leading up to that? And then I think you get another quick trailer for Fable, not a deep dive because you don't need it because we just had that at the developer direct, and with just release date. You gotta. It's time to start putting some numbers on the board here at Xbox, because we have seen a lot of these games, and the fact that we didn't get dates at the developer direct like I was expecting was shocking. So it's up to that. Probably a return of what is the Double Fine game that's coming out?
Ooh, teacup
game, the game where you're playing.
No, teacups, urns. They're urns. They're
but they can be teacups because it's all about clay.
Yes.
It's all about forming clay and making things.
It had a weird name for a game.
Yeah, it was really cool. So we'll probably see that. I'm sure there will be some other third-party stuff that needs to be thing. The thing that's shocking to me is the confirmation that Gears E-Day is coming this year. Maybe my expectations were out the window, but I thought that game was going to take forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I am shocked that it's coming this year. Like
it's not a weird name. It's just Kiln.
Kiln?
Yeah. Stupid Connor, dumbass. It's simple word.
Yeah, you're such a fucking idiot. Why can't you ever remember anything I need you to?
Just I've let you.
Maybe
down.
It's because you don't get enough sleep the night before we record, and it's a show, and you want to perform the best you can, but for some reason you just keep going out until 4 a.m. and then doing other things after that.
No, I think I'm good. You see, I live life, Tavin. I'm a man of life.
You can live your life any other day of the week.
Well, no, not in this way. No. I have a specific place I go on Sundays, Tavin, and you can't go half-assed. You wouldn't know that because your entire life is being half-assed.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
If you're going to come and attack my character,
wow.
If you're going to do that, yeah, did you attack my character? Yeah, you attacked my character.
I didn't attack your character. I attacked your ability to schedule and to prepare.
Well,
you want to talk about half-assed? You're out here working off of 3 hours of sleep while we're doing a 4-hour broadcast.
No. I'm going off of 6, 8, 9, like 5 hours.
What am I missing here from the Xbox showcase that I can't think of?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because I expect a lot of first-party stuff. Call of Duty will probably be here in some form or fashion, I assume. Overwatch will probably be here in some form or fashion, I assume. Probably to either show off new characters, because Overwatch's plan is to release a bunch of like 5 more characters this year, right? Off of the 5 that they just released with their new thing. So I imagine Overwatch will probably have a trailer here.
Marvel Fighters Tokon, another team. This is 2 months later.
The PlayStation Studios game?
Oh, fuck, it's PlayStation Studios. Well, you win some, you lose some.
It's not going to be here.
But what if it's like there's that sequence in South Park. I'm not like the biggest fan of South Park, but it's where they get everybody, like all Muslims and Christians and Jews together, and they're like, we should all unify under one symbol, and they're all the symbols like form into the Van Halen symbol, and they start playing. Maybe there's kind of like a equivalent thing going on there, where it just kind of brings people together.
Where PlayStation is going to put one of their most anticipated games of the year on that platform?
Yes, it's going to bring things together, and it's going to have this like very wholesome moment in a time of division.
No.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay. I'm glad that you're hopeful. I love seeing that sparkle in your eye.
Yeah, see.
Taco Bell after this?
No.
Why not?
What the fuck are you talking about? Just no, you idiot.
Just throwing it out.
Taco Bell.
Why not?
Like I just ate.
Don't
dry
say
tacos.
it. Don't. First
dry
of all,
tacos.
don't fucking throw that tone on Taco Bell like you don't fucking love Taco Bell.
You know what? You're right, Tavin. My issue here is that I just ate Mexican food, so that's the only reason why not. Now,
but that's not Mexican food.
But it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not.
But here's a good middle line, right?
Okay. Counter offer.
We go to Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
You pay for your things.
Oh.
And I get a nice, large Dr. Pepper. That sounds nice.
I don't think they have Dr. Pepper.
Oh, they do.
They
don't have Coke. They have Dr. Pepper. They have Pepsi. No Coke. But Dr. Pepper. Something about Taco Bell, theirs get very syrupy. The last time I got disappointed.
They are. Yeah.
I love that.
I tasted in the root beer heavy.
Oh, yeah, it's so good, isn't it?
It's good.
I just love the slime coming down your throat. That syrup. It's the same thing,
Yeah, I bet
I know the first thing you thought of when I said that was something overly... You're a dirty-minded person, Tavin. You don't have to say anything. You need to actually not say anything for me to know you're thinking something dirty.
You said you like that syrupy slime sliding down your throat.
Syrupy.
What am I supposed to say to that? What am I supposed to say to
We're
that?
talking about syrupy Dr. Pepper. That's what we're talking about here. You're applying some other element
You're
that's
out
not
here.
there.
You're out here trying to suck dick in a Taco Bell drive-thru, bro. I don't know what.
Whoa,
what you want
whoa.
from
Well,
me.
I guess that, maybe I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, it's not always me. It's not always me.
It is mostly you, but I get it.
Fucking
Not always.
Christ.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm excited. I love Xbox showcases.
I'm going to kill you.
Despite despite no.
Yeah, decided to.
Don't say these things.
Yeah, see that podcast? Demonetize us. I speak truth. It's what I will do to them. Watch the news. Watch this be like one of those like funny, what are you going to do, stab me moments.
Connor, I want to close with one more
Comment reply.
user comment reply here. Another our final penny here today is
know
going to
exactly
come
what you're doing.
from our YouTube comments under the Nier Automata short of like time capsule games that we put out.
Oh, never mind. I forgot we didn't do that at the beginning.
Vanish.
Did that dog throw up?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're suffering from allergies.
Oh no, yeah. She had a little spittle yesterday. She was, but it wasn't anything crazy. She ate it right back up. It's a dog. What do you
I
want?
know, it's just disgusting to know that
Vanish says Nier is an emotional masterpiece. If you told me back in January it would dethrone Godzilla PS4 as my favorite game of all time, I would have told you to resume your medication after playing it through. After playing it though, it has no equal. Listen, man.
Now, I need to say,
Yeah.
he's right.
He's right
About Nier Automata.
There's more to that comment where he's really talking about how much he loves Nier and how beautiful it is and all these things. And it's a really well worded
Bring you to
comment.
tears.
But that first paragraph threw me for a loop. He took a hard left there that I was not expecting.
Godzilla that's something I would say. Like some random game of like that meant so much to me.
Right.
It matters more than beautifully crafted video games.
This might be a young Connor. He does talk about how he's been playing games for 15 years, but when do you start playing games?
When do you, right?
Especially with kids now. So this kid, I don't know, he could be like 18 or something.
Assuming
like
it's a kid.
What is Godzilla PS4 Metacritic? Because I looked it up, and the IGN review was not nice.
It's going to be nicer than on
He would have
Metacritic.
said, resume your medication. Godzilla on Metacritic for PS4 has a 38.
3.6 user score, which, you know what? Sometimes people say, why go to something like Metacritic or OpenCritic? Why just not think for yourself and
Think
play
for
the game?
yourself, man. It's his favorite game. It's one of his favorite games now because Nier dethroned it.
But maybe with the user scores and the critic scores are like neck and neck, it's probably a pretty accurate description of the game. Though I will note, look at that green bar right there.
Dude, people have something to say about Godzilla right here.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's check these user reviews. How do I filter just the good ones? All reviews. Positive. A 10 from GoldaFan1227.
No. Goji fan. So that's like Gojira almost, I think. It's like a play on the Japanese word for Godzilla.
Gave it
so
a
he's
10.
A Godzilla fan.
Gave it a 10, first sentence. It's a good game, but...
Has no updates.
But a 10. It's a good game, but it has no
bugs.
updates. It will be cool if they had Shin Godzilla in the monsters. Okay. All right, we got fans. We got Godzilla fans. Hey, man. Vanish, you must be a big Godzilla fan, and I love that for you, buddy. Hey, love the games you want to love,
You didn't read the French review?
No. What the fuck do the French have to say that's of any value?
Seems like you talk about the guillotine all the time, so it sounds like something. But by the way, I will say...
Yeah. Guillotine is the best thing the French have ever given to the world.
That and cuisine. Their cuisine is famous. They literally... Okay, no. The basic cooking principles that almost everybody uses originated in France. Like, a lot of them did. Yes, it's true. This is like China in terms of importance to cuisine
But like,
around the world.
if you're talking Eastern Europeans, man, you can't beat the Italians.
I'm not saying what's my favorite. Of course,
I think
they're the best.
I think even maybe the Irish might be in there.
No, not them.
kidding.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Like, go to Spain. Spain's in Europe.
Oh, Spain's so good. That's a great answer, Connor.
Greece, too. Oh, I love myself some Greek food. Healthy.
Vanish, please comment down below. What about Godzilla do you love so much? I gotta know.
We have the reviews right here. You can find out and vicariously find out.
Godzilla was
these
one of the
people.
last Angry Joe reviews I ever watched.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah, he did. He tore it apart.
Why?
I don't
It's
know.
Godzilla for the PS4.
Because I think a lot of his early, well, not his early stuff, but a lot of his stuff, like he would always do like the hyper mainstream stuff, but then he would do the games that were terrible.
Yeah.
And he would review those so that he could pretend to be angry about it or whatever, you know?
He's the angry.
He was the Angry Joe guy,
game nerd.
you know?
Or angry Joe.
It was just Angry Joe.
Angry video game nerd. Someone's different.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, like, if you're starting your branding off, I'm angry.
It worked for both of them. Worked for angry
For the
video
time,
game nerd.
where's Angry Joe now?
Well, video game nerd's like an icon in the gaming space, and he does his own stuff now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your episode of the Two Penny Games
Don't
Cast.
insult that fucking guy right now.
We went off the rails a little bit because I've got a little bit of head sickness going on.
Head
and
cold, they call
We're
it.
just talking a lot. It's not a cold though, you know.
Sounds
But
like a cold.
a headache is forming. You know. Listen, if you made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you didn't, I understand. And until next time, have a great time. Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Understand what?